are the golden niggas.
What's up with it, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. We back for another episode of Tapp'd In. I'm Corey Wolf.
I'm Brandon Walton.
And today, we got a special guest, y'all. Man, I'm telling y'all, this one right here, this is a special guest, man. I'm pretty sure y'all know about the Houston Oilers, man, back in the day when they was the Oilers. They won the Tech. When they was the Oilers, they was hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking the Texans.
They coming back now.
They coming back, but the Oilers was hard. So, but y'all, man, we got special guest, man, Tyler Campbell in here with us tonight, man. We finna get it in, y'all. We finna get it in, man.
Man, I'm excited. I don't want to break nobody's heart because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh man,
yeah,
cut the cameras.
Listen, can I rock? Bud Adams, he took the squad away.
Yeah.
So I knew we had Steve McNair. I knew we had Eddie George. Like we was on the horizon as a kid in elementary school. You feeling like, yo, we coming, we about to win. And they took them.
Yeah.
So who was on the TV screen? Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So that I'm guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty. That's our reality.
I was in front of the screen when I was this little watching Cowboys too. So.
I got you.
I'm talking about when I was young like this, and they had that's when they had like Tony Dorsett and Danny White and all them. I was a kid. My grandma would get on the floor and sit down and quit moving. So we had to watch it.
Come on.
Yeah.
So we was watching the Cowboys.
I get you, man. I get you. You say little, I'm gonna take you, man. My family from the country, so they would say knee high to a grasshopper.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Knee high to a grasshopper. You got introduced to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Go ahead, fellas. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with y'all, man.
We appreciate you coming on here, man, because what happened was, man, like just following your story and everything like that, you've been through and how you overcame a lot of stuff.
Right.
The inspiration behind all that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this dude right here can really empower a lot of people. You know how many people that might want to give up.
That's special.
That might have went through some of the situations and experiences that you went through, man. You can help a lot of people, man. So we grateful to have you here, man.
Hey, man, I'm honored. And I told you over the telephone, I'll tell you this, it's the motion is like, just get started.
Right.
Like y'all, I want to encourage you because what you're doing and sharing stories, like that's the one thing that we all have. We have a story.
Right.
And a lot of times people let the world devalue or dictate their story ain't important.
Right.
Or that's because you didn't come from this angle or this side of the tracks, yours doesn't matter. Or because you got to look a certain way, you got to dress a certain way for you to have a platform. Not understanding that what you have, bruh, it can't be duplicated by nobody.
Right.
They're only making one you. They're only making one you.
Right.
So why would you want to be like somebody else? They already doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, man, just encourage y'all what y'all are doing and allowing people to have voice.
Yeah.
Allowing somebody to feel like I'm coming here and I've got something to say or I'm empowered to do so.
Right.
That's powerful because y'all are being a vessel for somebody else who otherwise has never gotten that from nobody.
That's dope.
And to see two amazing black men doing those things, it's a narrative sometimes you don't always get to hear in the world. So I applaud. That's why I tell you it's special to be here.
Yeah.
It's special to be here.
Man, I appreciate the way he broke it down, though.
It's special, man.
It's special.
We give props. You give credit.
For sure.
Right.
That's what... When you see somebody doing good, bro, let them know they doing good.
Let them know.
Please, let somebody know they doing good.
Especially us, all people. We definitely got to.
It seems like it's hard for them to big up another black man sometime or to tell him I love you or give him a hug. It's like we were taught not to be emotional at all unless it was with a woman and not even so much with a woman.
Come on.
So you got to give props and give your flowers while they're here. Because a lot of people want to give flowers after you're gone and go to the funeral and cry it out then, but tell him while he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to smell my flowers.
You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. That's a message for somebody. Yeah.
But let's hop into it, man. Can you kind of tell us about where you at on your path right now, how you got there? Just a little backstory.
Yeah. Wait, before you go there though. Since you finna get to that, let's lead to that. What he's saying. Start from childhood, man.
Oh yeah.
Go a little childhood.
Absolutely. Man, I'm a diehard Texan. Like I'm proud to be from this state. Like I tell people when you go out of state, you travel, you don't have to ask if somebody from Texas, because we gonna tell you.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? We're very, very prideful of where we come from. I'm proud to be from Texas. I'm born in Houston, raised in Austin.
Okay.
You know, blessed to have a mother and a father who loved and cherished my brother and I. I have an older brother named Christian. He's Earl Christian Campbell II, and I'm Tyler Christian Campbell.
Okay.
My parents are from East Texas, so my ties are to Tyler, Texas. That's how I received my name.
Right.
Because my mother's from there, my father's from there, my kin, everybody's East Texas.
Okay.
So you know, it's the other side of the coin. I told you guys, like, it just so happens that my father just so happened to be an NFL Hall of Famer and a Heisman Trophy winner and all those accolades.
Right.
I got the best part of it, and what I tell people is you got the athletic side. I got to see somebody love their wife.
Right.
You know, I got to see somebody who tucked in their child at night. I had somebody show me, you know, fatherhood.
Right.
I had somebody show me getting married. You know, those are priceless things.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Right. And I know, you know, my cousins didn't always get those same early lessons. You know what I mean? And so while I did, you know, I was come from an affluent place. I just want people to know I had a great family.
Right.
And a father who showed me a lot, and a mother who did show me a lot of things.
That's dope.
Outside of what the world wanted to shape from a sports standpoint.
Right.
My parents were both entrepreneurs.
Right.
I had a mother who had her own clothing store. I had a father who started a sausage business.
Right.
So I come from a very work ethic line.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what you see from me, what people hear from me, and the fights, and why I battle the same way, I come from people who fought for themselves.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, my pa fought to have his own business when people told him it was gonna fail.
Yeah.
My mama fought to have her own business in clothing.
Baby.
Man, you know, so a lot of the things, they're not so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Right. So for me, growing up in Austin, Texas, and just having that side of family, I grew up on the west side of Austin. One of the few black families in a community called Westlake, a very affluent community on the west side of Austin. And that's where I grew up. Yeah. You know, that's where my parents, that's where we raised me. I claim Austin, Texas as home, and I didn't understand growing up my father's magnitude. Right. Yeah. Please understand, like, because he didn't do that at home. Right. You know, all that stuff was outside the door. Yeah, right. When he came home, he was dad. Yeah. So he didn't talk football. We didn't talk like Houston Oilers stuff. Right, we didn't talk about Hall of Fame. He didn't have any trophies in the crib. Right. Yeah. All of that stuff was outside because he wanted the kids to see him. Right. He wanted us to see mom. So I learned about my dad from my friends' parents. Wow. Like, they got game films. They have, you know what I'm saying? So I'm piecing together, I think still to this day, I'm 37 years old, I'm still piecing together the reach and the impact that my father had with the game of football.
Does that ever bother you that most people are going to lead with you're his son instead of just Tyler? Like, damn, can I be my own man?
Yeah,
you know?
Right. I think so. I think it comes in waves, and we talked about this going in. I think there's a time in your adolescence, in your teenage years, where you fighting to just, see me. Like, I'm me. You struggle because you're trying to find manhood for one thing. You got your testosterone starting to build. You puberty, you growing. And so it's like, see me. As I get older, as I go to college, as I start to deal with my brothers who are from New Orleans, Detroit, Florida, inner city LA, South Central, Watts. Then you recognize the different stories of cats who have been through some stuff in their life, who grew up totally different than I did. Right. And at the heart of their hurt, at the heart of their pain, at the heart of their setback, Pops may not have been present. Wow. And so then that's a big one. Then it puts it on you, man. Like, that's a big how one. Dare you out here like see me when you got everything that these cats wish that they had. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I got tucked in at night. I got a kiss on the cheek. Right. You know what I'm saying? A dad who said, kiss me back. So that's your kisses, right? That's your hugs. That's your, all And my dad did those things, catch this, because his dad died on him when he was young. Right. So all the things that he was doing with us as children, he was giving us what he wanted to receive and never got it. Right. So now you're the next coming up where you have it. Right. Yo, Tyler, why would you be that way? TC, why would you be that way? You got everything that these cats, your teammates, your friends, they wish that they had.
Yeah.
Man.
So you fighting for self, but you don't recognize you sitting on something that's worth more than money.
Right. Man, I got to speak to that, man, because what you said was real deep, man. I thought about two things, man. One of the things when you said, like, you know, especially here in America, man, it's a lot of fatherless children. You know what I'm saying? And then to see, like, that you came up in a household like that, you know, and you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's the percentage is higher of single mothers, you know, but you came up in a household where you had your father in your life, and then you said, when you spoke to that, you said it's a lot. When you said your dad, his father passed away, and I thought about it. I said, well, it's a lot of people whose fathers or dads or whatever, they dead to them in the sense of never being there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then you was like talking about how your father never kept trophies in the house, and you know, he just wanted y'all to see him, and it just dawned on me. I was like, man, that's so dope, because it's like really what he was showing y'all was his trophies. Right. Yeah. So as fathers, our children are our trophies. Yeah. Our family is our trophies, our wives, our kids, you know what I'm saying? So that's a dope aspect when you look at it from that perspective, man.
That's a big dope, shout out to your pops, man.
Yeah, for real,
a lot of celebrities, their kids don't know them. The nanny raised them.
For real, bro.
You know, you look at stories like, you know, Jordan and stuff, they like, he was always in hotels around the country.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah. He might see you, you know, he's not really working with you on your game on the weekends. He's not at your practice Saturday morning. But for you to say that your father was giving you that kiss on the cheek, tucking you in, he had to be intentional about that. Yes, because I'm sure he could have been on the road doing what you know some of the other players was doing. Yeah. We didn't heard the names and the stories. You know what I mean? We ain't got to go there.
Hey, they all
you know, but, so shout out to your pops on being intentional while being a family man.
It's a lot. It's a lot to it, you know. And so then you learn, right? You learn different values without even being taught. You know, so it's a lot of stuff that was pressing fast forward. You know, and I'm forever grateful. Right. I'm forever elated. And I think but it took for me, no front, you know, it took for me to have that experience of being around other brothers, because recognize I came from an all-white community, so I didn't always have a team full of predominantly other black men until I got to college. You know, you look at your football teams, you know, we are the majority. Right. And so then you get faced with these stories, right? And that was the humbling thing, you know, but it was so special, because then in that moment, you also want to see those brothers make that change like my dad made the change. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to see them like, I'm the product of what happens when you get it right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your kids or you know, your little brothers, whoever it may be, let me be what you want for them. Right. When my pop went to college, bruh, nobody had ever gone to college. Right. But now you got nurses in my family. You got lawyers in my family. You got teachers. Because all it took was the one. One person. And that's my message, and that's why I try to tell y'all, like, you know, you just gotta be the one. Right. Because you don't even know what them coming up that's unbirthed and coming in this world. Just by the fact that you did it, and so that it created a greater love. It created a deeper sense of respect, and then it also created a hunger. Like, well, if he did it, like, how dare you not take care of your business and stop the ball that's already rolling for the family? Like, how dare you be the one to set it back? So it's a greater level of accountability, right? Like, so it's a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because people, you know, you'll talk about all that stuff, but now you understand the backdrop. It's bigger than just something that came from me. It came from what I see.
Right. So, like, speaking of what you see, man, like when you see or when you think of the number 34, man, what comes to mind?
Oh man, the greatest ever. Yeah. You know, when I see 34, I think of Tyler, Texas. Yeah. I think of Swan, Texas. I think of and Campbell Road.
Okay.
You know, I think of a 3-bedroom shack. I think of over 11 children in that mold. I think of sacrifice.
Right.
And I think of somebody who left it all out there on the line, not just on the field, but continued to do it in life. Right? So that's that. At the end of the day, I love comic books, bro. I was always the nerdy kid who watched DC comic books.
Yeah.
All right, so that was me eating honey buns underneath the bed. That's my Superman.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll bring it home for you. That's my Superman.
Already.
You feel me? I like that. That's my Superman. That's what that is for me.
I like how you broke that down.
Yeah, that's real. That's what 34 is for me.
Yeah, I like that.
That's my Superman.
Yeah.
So how is it managing that lifestyle of being the celebrity child? Is it taxing on you? Is sometimes you like, man, I wish I just had a regular life?
So that's a good question.
So in adolescent years, because I didn't understand. Because when you're young, you think you know, bro, but you really don't know.
Fully grasp
Come on,
it,
you don't really. We think, and especially as young boys, like we read Young Lions, right? We got it, right? And so, for me, that the battle, the visibility, the wanting to escape, the wanting to just see me, that's what led me, also down. Like I discovered alcohol at a bad man. I come from a family. I come from a family. You see drinking, you see smoking, you see my family from the country. You see dipping stuff in Copenhagen, right?
All of that.
So I saw alcohol a lot, no different than any other family.
Right.
And people look good when they were doing it. Yeah. And for me, when I needed to escape that world, or when I felt like I'm feeling myself, alcohol was that go-to for me.
Wow.
Okay. So we talking about teenage years. You talking about how so that was how I also escaped. That's how when I got comfortable, as sports started to come around for me, alcohol was right there with me.
So was that more like a coping mechanism for you?
Deeply coping mechanism. Look at you, bro. You talking, putting your psychology hat on. So that is what it was for me. And I'm not saying that, obviously I'm speaking about it because that was my flaw.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though it was around, my mom, my pa, they didn't want their kids doing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want their kids getting swept up in the alcohol. You know, they work hard to give you a better opportunity or a leg up to where drugs and alcohol, you got a better chance of that not being a part of your life. You got a better chance of it not being what I saw, what they saw growing up. You know what I'm saying? And being different. So it was strong in my veins.
Right.
But I fed them.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the opposite, right? It was in my veins. Right. You come from those things in your family, and I fed it, and that's why it made me feel so good, and that put me, that when you felt pressure, when you felt like you need to be different, when you felt like you need to escape, that was it. And man, that actually ended up getting me in trouble with the police. Actually ended up me getting in trouble and getting sent to the alternative education system of my school district because in the midst of feeling good about yourself, in the midst of trying to escape, I went drunk to a high school basketball game, and police officers smelled alcohol on my breath. Yeah. And in front of a sold out crowd, man, they pulled me out of the stands. My life was forever changed.
That's what I was gonna say. What did it do to your basketball? Far as your sports and your career and what you was looking up to do with that.
Man, how did that affect you? It's me being human. Like just wanting to be honest, because a lot of people who don't know, they don't know. You just see what you see on social media. You don't really know the work that it took to get that point. You don't know what it's like to be broken down to where you make your mother cry.
Right.
Like to make your mother cry because they didn't raise you that way.
Right.
Like you
been there.
You ain't you.
It's like she don't.
You don't know how much I've sacrificed.
Who you is,
yeah, you don't know how much I've sacrificed. There was a time when people of your color were not allotted to be in a neighborhood that you're even in.
Yeah.
Right.
To go to a school that you're even in, like Dr. King, like Malcolm, like people died. And you over here what are you even doing?
Just throwing it away.
Throwing it away. And I remember my mama crying. Bro, my mama was crying. I'll never forget. She was paying bills out of her checkbook when I had to let her know what the district was doing and that I got in trouble with the police. And my mama was at the kitchen table paying bills.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Like she real life, right? She's paying bills. And it's like, I'm doing this and you doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you want to slap me in the face right now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I lost I was the number 2 running back in the state of Texas. Look, my junior year at Westlake High School, because of my teammates. My teammates got me there. Total humility. I understand the game. My teammates helped me get there. Adrian Peterson was number 1 in my junior class. Okay. We around Temple, Texas right now. So Ramon Taylor was over in Belton. Okay. Ramon was the number 1 all-purpose back in Texas. And I was the number 2 running back in the state of Texas. Okay. That was our junior class. Okay. So I had scholarships. So weeks before that, I went to my mama and dad at 16 years old. I told them, you ain't got to worry about getting money together for me for college. Right. Because I already had offers. I already had Missouri. I already had Baylor. Man, imagine, bro. Well, you know what it felt like to tell your parents, like, imagine telling your parents, like, you don't have to come up with money to send me to school.
Yeah, right. I got this.
That's a burden that you took off them.
Like, I got you. Like, I'm paying you back because you got it right. I'm continuing to get right. Right. Yeah. So go from that situation to now I'm making you shed tears while you paying bills, trying to keep a roof over my head. Yeah. So that's my fall from grace and where alcohol got me in trouble and put me into the alternative system. I lost every single scholarship that I had. We made to the semifinals in my senior year at Westlake. I lost all my scholarships. I'll never forget Baylor University. The coach was in my room, my living room. Had my scholarship still on the table. Mm-hmm. I had lost so many. Baylor was there, and I told the coach, "Give me a couple days." Right. Like, give me a couple days so I can sit on this and decide if this is where I want to be. Mm-hmm. Right. Because I had lost so many scholarships. Baylor wasn't where I wanted to be. Yeah. It wasn't where I wanted to be at that time, but it was free school.
That's what I said. It was still a blessing.
So you thinking, okay, God, like, this is where he need me to be because you got one on the table. Right. Yeah. You messed up, you screwed up, you in the alternative system, you got out, you got suspended, you did that, you got your issues, but I still got you with the green and gold. Like, it may not be where you want to be, but this is where we gonna be. Yeah. And I kid you not, a couple of days later, I called the coach at Baylor University my senior year. I was walking out into the parking lot. I said, man, Baylor gonna be where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna call the coach at Baylor. Sick 'em Bears, you feel me? Like, he was like, man, Tyler, you're not gonna believe this. We had a running back commit a couple of days ago. A little while ago. So your scholarship's gone.
We good.
Wow, man.
So number 2 running back in the state. AD going to Oklahoma. Ramon's coming to Texas. Right. You have a long list of them, man. Lindy Holmes. It's like a long list of people, bruh. And I was the only member of the Texas Top 100 that did not sign a letter of intent.
Man, how did you feel, bro?
Embarrassed. You got to remember, I'm at Westlake High School. It's one of the most affluent schools in the state of Texas. Right. There are people who are going to Ivy League schools, who are your students. You got people who are going to University of Texas, University of Georgia, SMU, LSU, just off the rip, off of the academics. And I was the one who had the token athlete who had it in the bag when he was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. National Signing Day come. Where you crazy, at? Man. I don't have nowhere to sign.
Was that more of a burden for you because of who your father was? Is the scope on you more, or was it?
I feel like, man, I'm so swept with so much guilt because you couldn't help but to see the way that things transpired. It wasn't on anybody else but me.
But you, yeah. Right.
Like, you know how a lot of times even though you know that you're the wrong, even though you know you're the culprit in your youth or maybe in your own adulthood, it makes you feel better when you get somebody else to blame.
Right.
You know people who don't own up to their mess.
Yeah. You couldn't point at nobody.
I couldn't point to nobody. I couldn't point to nobody to make the coach, the teachers, Yeah. Nobody tell you to get drunk. Nobody, and so I don't know all the reasons as to why my scholarships, why it worked out. I know the Lord up above planned it that way.
Yeah,
because we always know that there are people who, you can get scholarships with records, you can get scholarships, but it didn't work out that way for me.
Right.
I needed a clean slate to keep my scholarships, and I didn't keep a clean slate, so I lost everything.
How did your pops and your mom react to that?
So one of the things that happened, and I tell people all the time, my dad wanted to try to save me. He was like, man, when I got in trouble and when the school told me, they went through with the police officer, and then they told me, like, your parents gonna have to come in and we gotta deal your suspension to the alternative system.
Right.
And we'll reflect you based off of your behavior if we can allow you into this district. And if we don't choose to allow you, you can't come back to schools of this district. You gotta go to AISD. Right. Like, you can't be here. Right. And so I'm like, man, okay. I call my dad, because every boy you gonna call your pops, because your mama gonna come with the nail.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Facts? Sure. And so I call my pops. Pops was like, man, don't tell your mama till I get home. Don't tell your mama till I get home. But when I came through that door, I was like, man, I gotta tell her. I can't look for him to save me. And as soon as I told him I got in trouble and all that stuff, he came home, he's like, see, man, I told you not to tell her. Yeah. We gotta work at it. And so he was like, I'm going to tell you something, and this is going to hurt you. He was like, I need you to call every single coach, look up their numbers. You find the numbers, however whether they offered you a scholarship or not, I need you to call them and tell them what you just got in trouble for. The reason being is because I'm raising men of integrity and character. And if you don't own up to your mistakes now, you will never do it as you become a man. Yeah. So I called every single LSU, Georgia Tech, Texas, to every school, whether it was a scholarship or not. I had a college manual. My brother had a college, this old college director had that number of every single college because, SATs and all that other stuff. I had an older brother who was a track and field athlete. So he had all this leftover college. And so I had literally this book that had every number. And in there, you could find any department in the university. So you could find the athletic department. This is before you hit Dr. Google and it spits out everything.
None of that. Bro.
So we the last ones on the phone book era. We the last ones that know how to do yellow pages and white pages, right? So I knew how to work the book. And so I called every single college coach. I left the messages, told them that I was in trouble, what I had done. And I remember the last school I called on my list was Georgia Tech. And I remember calling Georgia Tech, and in the middle of the call, I was literally, I guess I forgot that I hadn't hung up the phone. Yeah. And I was like, I left the message for the running back coach who was recruiting, and I said, what I got in trouble for? And I was like, man, Tyler, what are you doing? And it hadn't dawned upon me that I was still holding the phone. Right. And I was like, oh, click. So every phone call, it felt like you were speaking your future away. Yeah. So if whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, picture yourself like being so close to it, but then you yourself are speaking that dream further and further and further and further away from you with every call.
But what your father said when you said when he told you like just to call every one of them and let them know what you did, like if you think about it, like it kind of seemed like, damn, I'm hanging myself, but at the same time, it's like the honesty within the integrity.
You're kind of getting in front of it, though.
It's like, the honesty within the integrity is what's gonna make him probably be like plug into you even more. Like he being honest. Yeah. He's having integrity right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if this guy is being honest about his mistakes, maybe we can. You know what I'm saying?
And that's really
the gist. That was a smart play.
Yeah, and the gist is like, and that's what I hope people. I don't want them to take away that my pops was a bad person. Right. Like it really was that. It's just divinely, that's not the way it worked out. Right. For good reason. Right. Like I don't feel like my pops got it wrong. Like I don't have no grudge, nothing towards him for that, because like you said, you could see that it was setting the precedent again when it comes to reestablishing like manhood is more than just your manhood. Right. Like there are different levels and phases to this thing. Right. And a part of that was accountability. Yeah. A part of that was yo, when you got something, you're going to face trials and tribulations. Like the moment you say you want to be somebody, the moment you say you want to do this, the moment you say you want to be a barber, the moment you say you want to do whatever it is with you, whatever you're trying to do, the real keep it 1000 is to know that, bruh, the world is coming after you to try to deny that from you once you speak it.
The adversity coming.
And I think that was the ultimate lesson, because at the end of the day, he was preparing me. If it's not this thing that's going to stand in your way, it's going to be something else.
Right.
And if you ain't ready to stand for that, then you're not going to blossom into nothing, let it sports, whatever. And I think more than anything, that's what it was how bad do you really want this, and to what extent will you, not me, not your mama, not your brother, not your, what extent will you, Tyler, be willing to go to try to keep that alive? And you're going to dictate that.
I like that principle. And I like how your father went about it, because us on the outside, we think, oh, his daddy probably called him, pull some strings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
him making you own up to that.
Right.
Eventually, at some point, there was a pivot where you did get to go play college ball at San Diego State. So what was that pivot from negative to positive?
So after you cry,
lick your wounds.
Man, I'm talking about it's like, I never told nobody this, but it was very depressing to walk across the stage at Westlake High School and get my diploma.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't maximize this like I was supposed to.
Yeah, you could have took it farther.
Like I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And my next session was Division I. I ended up going to a junior college, right? The saving grace to the JC was I was away from home in California. Show you this is how. So can I tell y'all this? Can I keep it a buck? You want to know why I wanted to go to San Diego State?
What's up? Talk to me.
So let's be honest, okay? I'm a 80s baby, child of the 90s, growing up in the 2000s. I graduated in 2004. Michael Vick is fresh on the scene. Okay, Michael Jordan wore the red and the black with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Okay, they're releasing 11 retros.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, patent leather J's, which I never had.
Right.
My favorite were black and red.
Yeah.
Okay. A 12s, the white, the red, black on one side, the red on the other side. Like, I mean, those are my favorite color combinations, hands down. And they never had them, but still, I love the fact that San Diego State color schemes in the mind of a 16-year-old kid that were red and black. Right. I had never been to the ocean.
Yeah.
I've been to the Gulf.
Yeah.
We done been to the Gulf. I ain't never been to the ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
I done swam in lakes.
Yeah.
Right?
Straight up.
They had palm trees out there.
Yeah.
Had no palm trees here.
That's a whole other scenery.
It was a whole other vibe that I was trying to catch.
Yeah, I feel
and Michael Vick was with the Falcons. So that's, man, Mr. Phenomenon. He coming out with Michael Vick shoes.
Yeah.
At that time. Had the braids, I knew when I was leaving home I was gonna get my hair braided.
Yeah. Straight up.
Because my mama wouldn't let me have braids.
Yeah.
So I had a whole thing that I was trying to chase with San Diego State. And so what I tell people all the time is bet on yourself. Right. Because the mindset would have been go to Blinn Junior College. Right? Go to school, go to Junior JC in Corsicana. Off of Highway 31.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Blinn got some killers out there.
They did.
We just had one on the show that just went to Blinn.
Killers out there. Blinn now.
Cam Newton went through Blinn.
Yeah.
You ain't got to tell me. And guess what? Junior colleges in Texas have scholarships.
Yeah.
I chose to go to Pasadena City College in Pasadena, California. And the reason I went was because I knew it would be easier to get to San Diego State University from a junior college in California.
Right.
Okay.
It's not where my family's from.
Right.
It's not my family's from East Texas. Who out there with me? Keith Sweat, nobody.
Straight up.
Come on, I'm a child. Well, yes, I'm an 80s baby, child of the 90s.
Yeah.
So it made no sense.
Right.
But I went out there and through going there, I was around cats who came from the other demographics that we talked about.
Right. Yeah.
Cats who was really on Last Chance U. Yeah. My roommate, Jamal Walton, my best friend to this day, grew up in inner city New Orleans. He watched his cousin, same age as him, get gunned down right across the street from him.
Wow.
don't underestimate what y'all are doing. That right there was a lesson, which will hopefully be a blessing for some young woman or man who may be going through the same, or they don't know